All right, take your victory lap. You said at least 3 touchdowns. It was 4. There was a lot of cynicism. There was a lot of skepticism. Spike the proverbial ball, sir.
Well, I'm not going to spike the ball, but I will say I think I know what I'm talking about. Like it just goes back to the game against KC, right? Like you watch it, that's a really good defense, not good, right? And then you watch Denver's defense give up a 70 burger to Miami. Like, in my opinion, this is sort of the turning point for the offense, at least for the Bears, in my opinion. And boy, did they ever prove it on Sunday.
We are going to get into some specifics. By the way, I know you're new to media. That's the media equivalent of spiking the ball. Saying I told you so, just so you know. So as someone who's a longtime pro at spiking the ball verbally, you're very good at it.
He's really good. It's annoying how good he is at spiking the ball, Chase.
Well, I'm right so infrequently that
you lean into it.
I have to be great. So that has been one of the questions. Like, how much of what we just saw was scheme, Justin, offense progressing, or was it Denver's defense sucks?
I mean, let's be real. Denver defense, not where they want it to be right now. However, you're still an NFL team. You still have to field the defense, and you still, an offense, have to go out there and play well. To put up that many points against anyone, I don't care who it is, it's impressive. And what it showed me is that, like, and I tweeted about it and I talked about it in depth in my YouTube video, because this offense, and you guys know, everyone knows, like, you actually dive deep and dive into it. Like, where has this offense been? Okay, schematically, playing with tempo, playing with aggressiveness. I saw a couple times where they're on third down, they're snapping the ball before the defense is even ready, first down. Like, all this stuff, like, it just seems like everything worked together perfectly. And the catalyst behind it all, like, let's make no argument about it, was Justin Fields. Justin Fields had his best day as a pro, and in my opinion, it wasn't even close. What he did, he was hitting the back foot, ball was coming out on time, in rhythm. We hear that all the time, okay? He was sped up, but he wasn't in a hurry. He was rushed, but not in a hurry, and that's a big deal. Like, you're trying to get the ball out, a couple third downs. I break one in specifically down in the video where they have a little option route to Mooney on the right side. It's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. He expects Mooney, or so, I'm not exactly sure who it was, but he expects the receiver to break in on an option route. The receiver breaks out. He's able to not throw it on the inside, reset his feet quickly, and throw a dart to the sideline for a first down. This type of stuff doesn't show up in the box score, but you saw time and time again on Sunday this happening.
So, Chase, it was striking. Everything you're talking about, like those first 3 quarters, it was like, oh my God, this is the guy that so many of us fell in love with and started to believe in. He looked confident and like had conviction, and like everything, what you said, sped up but not hurrying. First few weeks, Chase, everything looked so slow. So why does that change? Is it belief in the scheme, or what else can make it change for a quarterback in terms of his physicality, confidence, and body language from week to week?
Well, you said it, and we talk about it all the time in NFL locker rooms, the 2 C's of quarterbacks, confidence and conviction, man. If you're going to be convicted about a throw and a decision, just let it go. If it's a pick or if it's a bad play, forget about it, man. Move on. You got to be convicted. You can't stand back there in the pocket and not know where you're going. And a lot of times it was the scheme too, because when he was looking at his first read, it was open. A lot of times I heard Kurt Warner on you guys' show. That's right. That's correct. It was open. But there were multiple times where he had to pull it back a little bit, go to his next read. And the biggest thing too, these 4 5-yard completions you see in the box score, those were checkdowns. And that's what I didn't see the first couple games. Like, not every play you call is going to be a home run play. And it shouldn't, quite honestly, because they're NFL defenses, they cover it. I saw a couple, like 3 or 4 times in instances where he would go to his first read, go to his second read, and just check the ball down to the tight end or the running back, a 2-minute drill, just like moving the chains, just staying ahead of the chains. And that's obviously what they did. That's honestly what they did on Sunday. They just stayed ahead of the chains. It wasn't anything crazy, but I just love the fact that, like, Justin, he's playing with confidence. And as a quarterback, that is the number one thing. That's like 90% of the battle. It's the headspace, right? So he was in a really good headspace for that game. I think he felt really comfortable with the plan. I think the plan was excellent as well. And it's just unfortunate they couldn't come out with a win.
So in the fourth quarter, it seemed like Getty might have play called a little scared. And I wonder if Justin lost some of that conviction or confidence in the fourth. Did you see that at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't see the play calling go down at all. And honestly, it was what they were doing. Like the biggest thing that I saw that was a little bit different. They were in a lot of shotgun, right? The whole game, which I think that's where he operates best out of. And if it was under center, it was bootlegs and nakeds. Okay. Get him on the edge and run. And he had like 6 or 7 of those. And on the fumble, I know you're going to bring it up.
Yep.
On the fumble. Okay. Look, they went back to the bank one too many times. I'm not putting that on Justin. Like they went back to the bank one too many times. I think it was the 8th naked or bootleg out there. And the guy on the end just runs straight upfield. And Justin literally sees them. Okay. He peeks, he sees them, and he's trying to get the ball out. I mean, what do you want him to do? Like, it's just a really unfortunate bit. Like when I saw it live, I thought it was an incompletion. But obviously it wasn't. It was a fumble. It's just unfortunate. And it's just, I mean, I didn't think the play calling got non-aggressive. I thought that they were in a lead for a long time, and they continued to press the pedal to the metal and put the gas down.
So we're talking to Chase Daniel's show. You've gone through the All-22. Do want to get into quite a few specifics from the game, but you brought us there to the naked. Now, you said they went to the well one too many times. I would say maybe that's too simple of a game plan. But then the critic would say, hey, Justin wanted the game plan a little bit more simple, right? He said he was being overloaded by information. Tim Jenkins was on with our midday show with Dan and Lawrence, and he mentioned you by name. He was like, if Tyson Bagent wasn't the backup, but a guy like Chase Daniel was, maybe he would have seen a key or something that the defense would know on those bootlegs to give it away, so there wouldn't be a clear rusher. Like, if they went to it too many times, did they telegraph it to the defense? Because Justin, it seemed like he often had a free rusher in his face, and he had to make a miracle play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I think that take is just, it's overblown, because as a quarterback and as a play caller, you have plays that you think are going to work. Okay. And that's a defense. That's the NFL defense. They're going to make some plays too. Like, they're paid a lot of money to read and react as well. Okay. They probably saw it on the sideline and say, hey, I don't care. Like, if they would have handed the ball off and the ball cuts back, that defensive end is not in the right spot. He made a play on his own. I guarantee you it was coached. Hey, just go straight up the field. They've run 8 nakeds on us, so forth and so on. So I just think at the end of the day, like, the dude was trying to make a play. And honestly, it was unlike any other bootleg they had run the entire game. It was heavy personnel. They had motion, a shift, heavy play action, and just trying to get him on the side, out on the outside for a 4 or 5 yard completion. And honestly, the DN just made a really good play. That's what I chalk it up to.
Okay. The interception on the ball to Kmet. Justin said that he read something in the that Kmet ran the route as intended. Justin read the route, or read the coverage as an opportunity for Kmet to kind of sit down earlier and improv a little bit and break off his route. Like, we know so much about what Mahomes and Kelsey do. Curious what you saw there and who is right. Like, and it is Justin, as I'm asking 3 questions in one, which I'm not supposed to do, but like, is Justin advanced enough to freelance and improv in a play like that, or should it always be the play that's how it's drawn up on paper?
Well, listen, that to me, I think Justin is falling on the sword a little bit for Cole. Honestly, like Cole, it was 3rd and 13.
Yeah.
Okay. And I rewound it about a couple times, and listen, Cole's probably running what they say, you know, what it is on paper, and just doing what's coached. It's man-to-man coverage, first of all. So the play they called, usually in 3rd and 13, teams aren't in man. So when you call the play that they call, it's a deep hook and it's trips formation, and they're all going to the sticks and turning around. Usually you want that against zone. So as soon as I saw that play versus man, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this just stinks. Like, it's just, it is what it is. The Denver Broncos called the right defense at the perfect time, because quite honestly, no one's in man. And what I saw on film was it's 3rd and 13. Cole gets to almost 17 yards. So Justin hits his back foot, hitches once, hitches twice, and lets it go early with anticipation. If Cole just goes and sits at 14 yards, it's a completion. Justin's actually throwing on time, thinking that Kmet's going to come back to him. And in fact, you know, he comes out of his break a little bit. So there's a lot of technicality and details. What I think right there is Justin's falling on the sword. I think Cole should have set it down earlier. If it is, then it's not an interception.
Okay.
Chase Daniel, some great stuff here, talking about what Justin Fields sees, doesn't see, what he did well. Want to ask you about 4th and 1 at the end of the game, and the play call is the zone read from the shotgun. And all game long, it's working when he reads the numbers and hands the ball to the back who goes up the gut. But at this moment, you know, they're looking short yardage. I hated the call because the defense is going to be looking short yardage, but Justin probably made the right read. Is there anything he could do? Could he sell his run part of it a little harder? Or is the play call itself just deeply flawed?
I don't think. I mean, that's another 3 questions in one. So let me answer your first one.
Chase, we've got to do better.
We'll tighten it up, Chase.
We've got to do better.
We'll look inward
because because I like that, and I'm going to try to answer them because one, the play call, in my opinion, was not deeply flawed. Okay, let's just go right there. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because the right guard and right tackle got off their combination way too late to the inside linebacker who was allowed to run through the B gap.
Right.
That is day number 1. If it's short yardage, don't let anything through the A and B gaps. Let it come through the C gap and just go up there. They're pretty much just trying to run a quarterback sweep. And honestly, it wasn't a zone read, in my opinion. Maybe I missed it wrong. It was just like a handoff off the gut, like go get the first down. And they let the Mike linebacker run through the B gap. The guard and the tackle and the tight end are comboing up to that spot. They didn't get off, so 49 just comes scot-free and tackles them for a loss. So that falls nothing on Justin whatsoever. And honestly, I like the play call because they were moving Denver off the ball in the run game, and they were protecting really well. Like they felt like they had an upper hand in that battle. So sometimes you call it, sometimes you not. If anything, like look at around the league. Brandon said the last 2 weeks, 4th and 1, like backed up, like you got to have your defense, right? Like this one, 4th and 1, just kick a field goal, right? Like that's what I thought it was. Now listen. Eber is my guy. He was my defensive coordinator in college, and he was thinking, in his opinion, and probably analytics, like, hey, look, we just got to get a yard. And quite honestly, it was the right play call. The players just didn't execute it, right? So if they get the first down, they run the clock off, they kick the field goal, they win the game. We're not talking about this today. So it's all the little tiny details that add up to that. I hope I answered your 3 questions.
You definitely did. Hey, you mentioned earlier that every time he went to the line of scrimmage, it was either a bootleg or like, so if he goes to the line of scrimmage, does the line read quarterback sneak at that point because he's so infrequently going to the line of scrimmage?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, that's probably something that the defense would be able to tell you. But I thought overall, like the play calling to me, this type of play calling by Luke Getsy, this is what fits Justin Fields. For the first time in a long time, maybe since last year, I saw the play caller fit his offense to the quarterback, who is the most important position in all of sports. Okay. And so that's why they were successful. It's easy. And they weren't just like easy shots down the field. I mean, he was throwing like corner pumps, like a 7 takeoff to DJ Moore on a perfect, like all this stuff. It was awesome. It was really cool to see, especially if you're a quarterback like fiend like I am. Like I like watching good quarterback play, and I thought Justin played really well.
Justin today, when he met the media, said that his favorite play was the 3rd and 9 conversion to DJ Moore. And I brought it up on the show yesterday because, Chase, I didn't understand what I was looking at, how every player on the defensive line got a better jump than every player on the offensive line. I sent it to my buddy Olin Kreutz, our friend on the show. He was like, my guess is he snapped it on the wrong count. That's what Justin said today. It was supposed to be on 2. Lucas snapped it on 1. And he still stands in there and converts it. What does that play tell you about where Justin is right now? If
it just tells you that he's not overthinking it. Like ball snap, like I've been in that situation before. Like ball snap, oh my gosh, where's my read? Let's just go. Boom, boom. Like just instinct took over. He's not overthinking. It's not crazy. They're just running double slants on each side, which I like that call in 3rd and 9, especially against cover 2, which they were playing. Okay, so he throws it on the left side, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, the center for sure snapped it on the wrong count because left guard, left tackle, right guard, right tackle just didn't move. At least the receivers moved, and it was just cool because there was a guy right in his face, and he was able to like sort of sling it around him and still be really accurate. Like that was one of the plays I flagged and broke down. I thought was just like really, really cool.
Wanted to ask you about the 2 touchdowns where it looked like backyard football a little bit. The Cole Kmet one where he's scrambling to the right towards the pylon, baits everybody, and then stops. Right? I mean, it's unbelievable. And then the Khalil Herbert one where he's moving the pocket just with like a jab step here or there. It's I mean that's crazy improvisational stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, the one to the one scrambling around on the right sideline to Cole, and that to me was like, hey, as soon as you take off, you're a threat to run, and he knows that. He knows that defenses know that, and you watch and you slow it down on the all 22. There's like 5 guys all of a sudden once he like gets close to the line, just like, all right, here we go, and then Cole's just like, hey, I'm wide open, and he's just able to jump real quick and just throw it right there to him. Amazing job, like so good. And then also the one to Herbert, that guy wasn't even supposed to get the ball, like not even remotely get the ball. And then so his like, it's a naked fake, it's bootleg, it's everything that we do. All that stuff to me was really, really cool.
So we're talking to Chase Daniel. Check it out, Chase Daniel Show on YouTube. He's got the post up right now with the full breakdown of Justin Fields. Peter King will be on the show in about 10 minutes. Like I said at the beginning, it was super helpful to frame our conversation in terms of expectations when you talked about what you expected against Denver. Washington gave up 33 to Denver, 37 to Buffalo, 34 to Philly in the last 3 games. What would you expect in terms of production and what it should look like Thursday at home against Washington?
Yeah, I mean, short week, and on these short weeks, usually the game plan shrinks a little bit. So honestly, I feel like, and honestly, it shrinks, but it also, there's some carryover. So what they may not have used on Denver, it's still going to be in the game plan. And that's pretty normal. That allows your players to play fast on a short week, because really you get 1 day of work. Because you need some time to recover. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. That's a good team. They're going to have to score points. They're going to have to get to 28 points to win the game. I mean, like just the way their defense is playing right now, Chicago, they're struggling. They're trying to find their identity. It's well known. We're not going to belabor the point. And I think on offense, they just have to continue building off of what they built this past week, because confidence is key in this league. And if you can build back-to-back games, even though you're 0-4, you feel good about where you're at as an offense.
All right, Chase, we're going to point the thumb during the off the off week here, or at least I should say the few days off that we have. Instead of 3 questions in one, this is what I'm going to do next time. Chase, tell us about this play.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Should we do that, Danny?
Talk about?
Yeah, talk about, tell us about, just kind of
talk about it.
Yeah, just talk about it, and we'll set you up nice and clean like that.
But,
I appreciate it, guys.
But what? I'm sorry, one more. You do when you say it's something to build on, right? Because you know the media game enough. Like, this is a referendum on him this year, almost week to week, on 5th-year option. You know, the Caleb Williams draft. They've got the Carolina pick. They're winless. Like, do you see in Justin Fields something that is still salvageable, where there is a high ceiling as an NFL quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, look, the jury's still out on that, but I do know that he played really well down the stretch last year, like running the ball. This was his first game where he like should have won the game with his arm. And this is something for him to build off of. Like if I was talking to him, I would just say, hey, Justin, just quiet the noise, man. Exactly what you did. Take your process, trust your process. Don't let the outside noise get into you, because honestly, right now, the most important thing is getting a win. Like, I don't care if you throw for 200 yards or throw for 50 yards, rush for 50 yards or rush for 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. And I guarantee you that's his mindset. Like, let's just get a win. Let's just get this thing going in somewhat of a right direction. And I think he's probably thinking along those lines.